Latin influence. Probably, John, you pay real attention. I remember your solo concert here when you came here with your band, and you put a lot of emphasis in the Latin sounds. Actually, one of the songs of this latest album has a Latin flavor. What do you think about the influence and the future of Latin sounds mixing with the rock and roll or pop?
It always has done. Even Beatles songs, there's some samba in the Beatles songs, and interesting. I was walking up Florida Street, and there was tango playing, and I was trying to get the band to do a tango once. It didn't work out, but the idea that tango is so beautiful, it's got so much rhythm, it's a special rhythm, and it could easily become rock tango, but it's just one of those things that music now is very world conscious, simply because of the facility of being able to get CDs from all over the world. So musicians listen to so much different kinds of music, so it becomes like a melting pot.
You mentioned that you love the city, which I really flatter about that, because I really thank you that you love the city, Buenos Aires. You have been, I think, in your particular case, 4 times with the group 3, no?
Yeah, 4 times.
Yeah, so I really thank you for that. But what were you expecting? Basically, because you were the first British group to come to Argentina after the Malvinas War and everything. When you first reached our country, well, I exclude you from this question because you weren't there at that time, but when you reached this country in 1983, were you expecting this type of response from the audience and this love that we have for your music?
You know what was very funny? Is that we played 3 nights at this football stadium. And I guess there was about 30,000 people there every night, and they all knew the words to every one of our songs. And I went back and I checked our Atlantic Records statement for Argentina. We sold 5 albums. Where did all that?
Where's the money? Show me the money.
And so that was funny, but it was a very exciting. I mean, it was a crazy time for us because we had like the Guardia Civil guys with us with the machine guns guarding us, sleeping outside our hotel door at the night, and the top floor of the Sheraton. They had the whole floor for us, and it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, but it was very exciting. The Rock in Rio and the gigs here were very, very, we played some good concerts here. So.
I was there, the laser show, your music was incredible. Well, thank you for that. To wrap this interview up, there's a lot of people that will watch this interview and are very young, and they don't know a lot about the Yes history. What can you tell us about the beginnings of the group, the evolution of the group, trying to synthesize this in a few minutes, but it would be lovely to have a brief view from you about the evolution of the group and how a group can stand for 30 years being still popular and very respected.
Well, very quickly we just got together and we decided we liked vocals and harmonies, and we also, it was the beginning of the time in London when the bands like The Nice were starting to be very instrumentally strong, and we wanted to put a band together, that had very good vocals and instrumentals, and Steve came in and,
Yeah, I think one of the things you said earlier, the idea we're changing every couple of years to bring in people like Steve and then Rick Wakeman and continuing still. I think if you have change in your work and you develop with honesty, then you'll survive. It's dangerous out there because people are going to shoot at you and tell you you're not good enough. But if you believe in what you're doing and you change constantly because of your belief, if you feel good to do something different, do something different. It comes from here, and that will keep the survival thing going. And then, 30 years down the line, you can't believe you're still making music, so it's an extension.
Yeah, well, I mean, also the fact that people come in the band, I've had the chance to come in and out a couple of times, which isn't something I exactly thought I would do. It's given me another perspective on the band to be able to come back to it, say after 10 years when I wasn't in it, and find the band still wants to make great music, and obviously that's very enduring for us, So, you know, it's people like Rick Wakeman who've really kind of missed out because they kind of said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and missed the opportunity to see constant development in the band, like I did since came back to do Keys to Ascension Volume 1. So that was great, but also I think that the fact that we're open to have somebody like Igor Korshev come in the band, you know, there aren't fixed rules. You don't have to have musical popular credibility to enter Yes. You just have to know how to play and know how to reach us through that music. So in a way that's part of the secret of Yes, because the design of Yes was already there before I joined, and I think it was In Time and a Word when that second great album had so much style in it, and it was almost like you could take yards of it out and keep working it, reworking it. And in a way, I think that's kind of what we've done. There's some magic moments in Time and a Word, and I think there was a great deal of ground laying, you know, like foundation laying in that time, which has enabled such a long period.
The quick last one. And for you, John, and for Steve. Do you think that Chris is the boss, being there for 30 years?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's the boss.
There's this going around.
Thank you for the music. Thank you.